There is something strangely painful about wasted potential, not failure, not losing, not being rejected. Wasted potential because failure means you tried and it didn't work. But wasted potential means you never really gave yourself the chance. You knew you could do more. You knew you had abilities, ideas, intelligence, creativity, or ambition. Somewhere inside, you could see the person you might become. And yet, day after day, you kept choosing comfort over growth. You told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became next month, and eventually, years passed. The most disturbing part is that people who waste their potential often don't look lazy from the outside. They may have jobs, responsibilities, relationships, and ordinary lives. They may even appear successful. But privately, they know something is missing. They know they are living below their capabilities. So why does this happen? Why would someone consciously know they are capable of more and still refuse to act? The answer is rarely simple laziness. One of the biggest reasons people waste their potential is fear. Not always fear of failure. Sometimes it's fear of success. Because success changes your identity. If you never try, you can always tell yourself, I could have done it. That sentence protects your ego. Maybe you could have started the business. Maybe you could have written the book. Maybe you could have become healthier, smarter, stronger, richer, or more confident. As long as you never seriously try, your potential remains perfect inside your imagination. But the moment you try, reality becomes involved. Now you can fail. And failure gives you an answer you don't want to hear. So instead of risking failure, some people protect themselves by doing nothing. They don't fail, but they don't grow either. This is one of the cruelest psychological traps. Protecting yourself from disappointment by never giving yourself the opportunity to succeed. Another reason people waste their potential is perfectionism. Perfectionism sounds like ambition, but sometimes it is actually fear wearing a sophisticated disguise. A perfectionist says, I want to do it properly. So they research, they plan, they watch videos, they buy books. They create schedules. They wait for the perfect moment, and somehow, months pass without meaningful action. The problem isn't that they don't know what to do. The problem is that they are addicted to preparation because preparation feels safe. Action doesn't. Action exposes you to judgment, mistakes, criticism, and uncertainty. So the person keeps preparing instead of performing. They confuse movement with progress. Another psychological factor is instant gratification. Your brain naturally prefers rewards that arrive now rather than rewards that arrive months or years later. Scrolling your phone gives you stimulation immediately. Watching another video gives you entertainment immediately. Sleeping for another hour gives you comfort immediately. But studying, exercising, building a business, learning a skill, or creating something meaningful often gives you almost nothing at first. The reward comes later. And this creates a battle inside your mind. The future version of you wants progress. The present version of you wants comfort. And every day, the present version often wins. That's how potential disappears quietly, not in one dramatic decision, but through thousands of tiny choices. 5 minutes becomes an hour. One missed workout becomes a week. One postponed project becomes a forgotten dream. And eventually, the person doesn't even remember what they originally wanted from life. There is another powerful reason people waste their potential: their environment. If everyone around you accepts mediocrity, ambition can begin to feel strange. If your friends constantly complain but never act, you may start doing the same. If the people around you mock anyone who tries something different, you may learn to hide your ambitions. Human beings are deeply influenced by social environments. We unconsciously adjust our behavior to fit the group. That's why changing your environment can sometimes be more powerful than trying to change your personality. You don't always need more motivation. Sometimes you need fewer distractions, fewer negative influences, fewer people telling you that your goals are unrealistic, and more exposure to people who are actually building the kind of life you want. But perhaps the deepest reason people waste their potential is identity. People behave according to who they believe they are. If someone repeatedly tells themselves, "I'm lazy," eventually laziness becomes part of their identity. If they say, "I'm not disciplined," every difficult task becomes evidence supporting that belief. But identity isn't permanent. You can change it through repeated action. You don't become disciplined by waiting to feel disciplined. You become disciplined by keeping promises to yourself. One small promise, then another, then another. Eventually, your brain starts collecting evidence that you are a different person. This is why small actions matter so much. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You need to stop abandoning yourself. Start the project. Read the page, take the walk, make the call, learn the skill, publish the first imperfect version. Do something that your future self will thank you for, because potential is not a personality trait. Potential is a possibility, and possibilities mean nothing without action. You can be incredibly intelligent and still waste your life. You can have extraordinary talent and never develop it. You can have great ideas and never build anything. You can have opportunities other people would dream about and still spend your days complaining about what you don't have. Potential without discipline becomes frustration. Potential without courage becomes regret, and potential without action eventually becomes a story about who you used to believe you could be. So, if you're watching this and something inside you feels uncomfortable, don't immediately ignore that feeling. Maybe that discomfort is telling you the truth. Maybe you aren't tired of life. Maybe you're tired of living below your potential. Maybe you don't need another motivational speech. Maybe you need one decision, one honest decision to stop waiting for the perfect version of yourself to appear before you begin, because the person you want to become isn't waiting somewhere in the future. You build that person through what you do today. And the saddest question isn't, "What if I fail?" The saddest question is, "What could I have become if I had simply started?" Don't let that question become the story of your life.